And we all face unexpected challenges, but it's how we respond that matters. We all remember that one guy in the service that everybody knew was cool, calm, and collected, level-headed. We all remember that person. Why? Because we all strive to be that in one way or another. And being that, doing that, isn't exclusive to that person. They're not born like that. They develop those skills. And we can develop those skills as well. Welcome to the VetRise Podcast. I'm your host, Juan Perez. My goal is to make success after service accessible to every veteran in society. I believe in the power of leveraging your service, not as a label that defines you, but as a launching pad for your next chapter. What we have been doing has not been working, and it's on us to start changing the culture. Enjoy the episode, and thank you for your time. Today's topic is going to be about equanimity. Now, equanimity is a word that I learned when I was in Marine Corps Scout Sniper School back in 2010. And the way it was presented to me was that when shit hits the fan, when chaos arrives at your door, when things do not go as planned, which is half of the time, if not most of the time, because we all know that the first thing that dies in a battle is the battle plan, the mission plan. Like, that's the first thing that is killed in action, right? So, again, we are not in war anymore. We are not looking for the chaos, but chaos is going to come for us either way. And what we can do in those moments is we can either respond appropriately, keep our demeanor, keep our calm, and not lose ourselves, or we can lose ourselves. We can react emotionally. We can get angry. We can allow our emotions to hijack our nervous system, and then we just react. Now, a lot of people will tell you this bullshit, this BS lie that, oh, well, you know what? I just trust my feelings, and I'm a very passionate person, or I'm very direct, so I'm very abrasive sometimes when I have to be. Like, that's just what they say because they refuse to change and they refuse to grow or learn. So it's easier to say that this is just the way that you are than to accept that there needs to be a change in your life. And today we're going to be talking about equanimity, but specifically, how is it that we can manifest in our lives? Now, in the past coaching calls, we've been talking about the power of saying no, the fact that we do need to burn some bridges the right way, and how we can accomplish more in 1 year than ever before. Today, we're going to bring it home, and we're going to focus on the mindset. We're going to focus on the mindset and the emotional feelings that we feel when we are dealt a hand that we feel is unfair. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Guys, thank you for joining. Do me a favor, if you're hopping on, mute yourselves, please. We're getting started, okay? All right. If someone can come off mute and let me know if you can see the slides, just because I can't see you guys on my screen anymore. All right, beautiful. All right. So, equanimity, also known as finding calm in the chaos. Today, this is going to be the thing that you want to remember more than anything else. It's your guide to staying cool under pressure. Because pressure is always going to happen. Like we talked about, you're going to get a flat tire. You're going to lose your job. Things are going to go haywire. And the same way that we talked about how is it that we can rise to the occasion and become a champion or a loser in that situation, today we're going to talk about what emotions we can actually use to make sure that we don't react emotionally. So what is equanimity? So equanimity is staying calm and composed even when things get tough. Even when things get tough. And tough is subjective. However, your 10 out of 10 pain level is the same as someone else's 10 out of 10 pain level. What it means is that it's the worst type of pain for you or for them. So when things get tough in life, whether it's you're going through a divorce, whether it's you lost your job, whether it's your mother passed away, whether it's you ended up not getting the news that you wanted about a job that you were hoping was lined up for you. Maybe you can't make the mortgage that month. Like when things get tough, you have to find a way to stay calm and composed, because when emotions run high, the way that we react is not going to be appropriate because it's not in a cool, calm demeanor. We are at a 10 when we need to bring ourselves down and think about different situations and different ways of handling it than just reacting emotionally and getting angry and then having to walk it back later on. It's about staying focused no matter what life throws at you, because life is going to throw a lot of stuff at you. Right now, you guys are where you're at right now, and you are in this program because you made a choice to work on yourselves. You made a choice. You made a commitment to yourself that you were not happy with where you're at, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we're not chasing happiness here. We're not. And anybody that tells you that, like, they are not realizing just how happy they can currently be if they start looking at things from a different point of view. We are chasing progress. And the best way to get to that progress is by making sure that we realize that we need to respond logically, to not take the emotional reaction and be the first thing that we use when we encounter a situation that happens to us. And we all face unexpected challenges, but it's how we respond that matters. We all remember that one guy in the service that everybody knew was cool, calm, and collected, level-headed. We all remember that person. Why? Because we all strive to be that in one way or another. And being that, doing that, isn't exclusive to that person. They're not born like that. They develop those skills. And we can develop those skills as well. Sometimes when you think about the Stoic mindset, which Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, and there's a lot more to it. Today we're not going to go too deep into it, but one of the belief systems that they have is that we need to do less. And when we think about that, it's not being less productive. It's being more effective. Everything that you do, you have to really ask yourself, is this necessary? Can I say no to this? Is this something that I have to do? Do I have to sit my ass on the couch and watch 1 hour of TV after work because I need to decompress? Do I have to have this beer because I think that I need it because I had a long day at work and I deserve it? Do I have to sacrifice my body by skipping the gym and going through a fast food restaurant because I think it's easier? You have to ask yourself, is this necessary? Do I have to go out with my friends on every Friday night just because it's what we've always done? We have to find a way to cut out activities that don't add value to your life. Anything and everything that you're doing in your life will either take away or give you value. Everything. Even your time at work. If you spend time at work and you're not there intentionally, you're actually taking value away from yourself because you're not doing what you should be doing at work to get promoted, to get that better position that you wanted, to be able to spend more quality time with your family because you don't have to work on Saturdays and Sundays because you get that promotion that lets you work around your schedule. Here's an example. If you're overwhelmed by social media, limit your usage to focus on more important tasks. For the first 3 hours of my day, typically I try and stay off social media. And then I have a time slot that I do stay on social media because it's part of my job. It's part of my content creation. But I've worked very hard on doing less every single day. And I work hard on doing less because it actually opens up my mind. It doesn't overwhelm me. And I actually have more space, more capacity to do the effective things that I want to do effectively. Going to the gym, if you keep opening up your phone on TikTok or Snapchat or messages or whatever, you're wasting time. You're wasting time because you're not training effectively. When you go to the gym, your phone should have a fitness mode that you turn on, and that's your focus setting, and you have your app open with the workouts, maybe your music playing in the background or maybe the podcast, and you hit it. You hit it. You don't scroll on social media. You don't lollygag. You don't check what's going on here or there. Like, you do your workout, and you do it to the best of your ability. And believe it or not, you're actually doing less. Because when you don't do that, you're doing more. You're on social media. You're messaging this person. You're checking this. You're looking at this news. Like, none of that matters right there and then. And as you're driving into work after the gym, do less. Which means don't listen to a bunch of crap on the radio. Don't get angry that somebody cut you off. Don't worry about traffic. Traffic is traffic. Plan accordingly. But do less by doing something a little bit more effectively that requires less of your energy. Maybe you listen to a podcast that you just zone into and that's it. That's it. I always use my GPS everywhere I go. Why? Because it takes one less factor out of what I have to do as I'm driving. I just listen to my GPS. It tells me the best route. And if I can save 5 minutes by taking this route or using this app, I don't do that. It's 5 minutes is not worth saving of me stressing out over trying to find the best app to get me to where I want to go. I don't count on myself to try and remember what exit I have to get off on. Why? Because I'm doing less. I'm doing less by working effectively on the things that actually help my mind not get overwhelmed. Establish a morning routine. This is one of the huge things that you can do for yourself. Now, it doesn't have to be a drawn-out 15 to 30 or 45-minute morning routine. It doesn't even have to be the same thing every day. But you want to start your day with a consistent morning routine. It's going to help you set a calm tone for the rest of the day. And when times get tough, when times get tough, we sync to our training, to our systems. We don't rise to the occasion. So an example would be that when you wake up in the morning, at the same time, you drink your morning electrolytes and then you go for a 10-minute walk, or you get some sunlight, or you jump on a trampoline because it gets your body moving for the morning. Or maybe you jump in the ice barrel. Like, your morning routine can be different. And it doesn't have to be the same as someone else's. My morning routine is specific to me. And by the way, not every day has to be the same. But I know that if I wake up and I don't have a routine for the morning, I'm not going to start my day the right way. I'm going to be in all this different types of commotion. So what do? I wake up at the same time. I'm already wearing my shorts from the night before, and I go and I jump in my ice barrel for 3 minutes. Sometimes I sit in silence. Sometimes I listen to this app called Pep Talk that has very inspiring videos. Sometimes I record a video for you guys. Most of the time, it's just 3 minutes of me thinking. And when I say thinking, I mean thinking about my day intentionally, not overwhelm, not, oh, I have to do this, or, oh, no, I have to do that. No, like, okay, what is on my day today? All right. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to the gym. I have to make sure that I packed that. And I'm not making a mental checklist of all the stuff I have to do. I'm just being present. Because when you're on social media and you're scrolling and you're doing more and you're not establishing a morning routine by actually having time to do something for yourself, it's not going to go the way that you want it to. That's why planning everything and putting everything on your calendar is very important. That's why making sure that you wake up and you have something that gives you that reset for the morning that, hey, it's morning, I'm going to attack the day. Whether it's getting sunlight immediately, whether it's jumping jacks, whether it's drinking your electrolytes, whether it's a cold shower, whether it's going for a walk, jumping on the treadmill for a little bit, whatever it is that is going to be that reset of like, hey, I'm awake, I'm alive, I'm going to enjoy my day. That's what you have to do. It helps you clear your mind. And a lot of people don't realize the power of clearing your mind. Why? Because we live in this society that is 100 miles an hour at all times, myself included. I'm guilty of it, 100%. But we have to take a short break to clear our mind intentionally. We have to practice deep breathing or meditation for a few minutes daily. And if you've never done meditation, trust me, it's not easy to get into, but it's worth doing, and it can look different for you. For me, my meditation is I get out of the ice barrel, and I will typically sit right there on the back porch for about 5 minutes. Sometimes it's less because sometimes I don't have the time, but it's not about, oh, I'm not making time for it. It's just I know that at some time in the rest of the day, I'm going to find time for myself. And it helps you stay present, and it reduces anxiety. Because when we don't take that moment to do some deep breathing, 5, 5, 5, right? 5 in through the nose, hold for 5, release through the mouth for 5, you're empty for 5 seconds, and then back again. Bots breathing. There's a bunch of different methods for how to do it. The way that I like to do it is 5 seconds into the nose, hold for 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, out through the mouth for 5 seconds, empty for 5, and then you repeat that. The reason why this helps is because it does clear your mind. Whatever anxiety, whatever feeling you're feeling right there in the moment, it actually may dissipate a little bit because you're not allowing it to hijack your nervous system. You're not allowing that moment of anxiety or whatever you feel is piling up at you to be the reason why you can't accomplish what you have to accomplish that day. We have to accept change and uncertainty. All right, let's stop for a minute. This is the part of the episode where I ask you to do me a favor.
But it's not a favor for me. It's a favor for your fellow brothers and sisters that served with you. If you know someone that has been struggling, if you know someone that has been going through it right now, and you know that they want better for their life, they just don't know how to do it, please share this episode with them. It might just be exactly what they need. That's it. That's my only ask. If you want to subscribe, I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Back to the episode.
And the Stoic mindset, where they understand and we understand that like life is always changing. Like it's going to happen. We have to accept it. We cannot stop change from happening. Good times and bad times will pass, both the same. And you need to enjoy both of them. Good times will remind you of why you are doing what you are doing, because the hard work is producing something. You are seeing the fruition of all of the hard times. And as hard times happen, the reason why you have to enjoy them and cherish them is because it reminds you of what you do not want to be in. Right now, I'm in a hard time. And I'm cherishing it because it reminds me that I am going to do everything in my life possible to make sure that I can create not just good times, but the best of times for me and my children. And I cherish these times. Too many times we think that we only have to remember the positives, but we have to remember every hard time that we've had, it's past. It wasn't permanent. It's temporary. And this too shall pass. But if it passes without you learning a lesson from it, you're likely to repeat it. If that hard time passes without you taking a lesson away from it, you're likely to repeat it. When you face a challenge, you have to remind yourself it's temporary. I feel how I feel, and now I'm going to do something about it. And then you have to focus on the solutions. There is no more useless feeling than the feeling of pity and dwelling on something that you think is holding you down, because it's not. Your emotions, your reaction, your response, your perspective of that thing is what is holding you back. When things happen to you, they're just things that happen. Believe it or not, life is going to keep throwing shit at you. It's not going to stop. It's not going to slow down. You're going to just get better and better at handling it. And there will be a point where you're like, you know what? I'm really good at handling this. Nothing can throw me off. And something will throw you off. Something much larger than you've ever experienced before. And you have to accept that change and that uncertainty, it's part of life. But when you accept it, you understand that it's going to happen, which means you can prepare for it mentally. I know that life is going to throw me a shit ton of curveballs, but I'm ready for them. And guess what? When they happen, whatever happens, I will come out on top. Even if I have to go down into the abyss, into the darkness, and face some of my demons, some of those dragons, and slay them. But I will come out on top. And I want all of you guys to have that mentality. Now, being of the mindset of having equanimity, a lot of it is based on building something inside of you that is going to be that tool that you use consistently and constantly to get you past those hard moments. And that's resiliency. You see, happiness comes from within, not from outside things. Material things come and go, but you cannot replace what's inside. You cannot replace the life that you feel you have lived inside. The people that are around you. Life. Happiness comes from within. So when you're happy because you realize that you're doing the work right now, maybe you're not where you want to be, but that's okay. You're doing the work. You are walking the walk. You are not just talking about it. You are doing it. You are being it. Suffering and hardship are part of life. Because as we've talked about this, everyone understands the hero's journey until it's time to do the hard part of that journey. And then people start to wonder, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? You have to remind yourself that you are. You will never remove hardship from your life. You need to learn to thrive in it and do better when hardship does come. Now, can we mitigate hardship? Absolutely. When you are constantly understanding that change and adversity is going to happen, you can mitigate it. by avoiding situations that are going to cause more hardship for you, by you becoming resilient. Me jumping in my ice barrel every morning, a lot of it has to do with building resilience, because it's the last thing I want to do in the morning. It feels terrible. If I hop out of bed and I delay the ice barrel by 30 minutes, it actually doesn't feel as bad as it feels if I hop out of bed and I walk my happy ass outside to my ice barrel and I jump in without thinking. It hurts a lot more. It's harder. It is a much, much more painful slap in the face. But it is so much more beneficial to do it immediately. Because if you avoid the hard things in life, the things that build resiliency in you, you are sacrificing all of the growth that you could have if you actually leaned into that hardship. And you can mitigate situations in your life by not going out to the bar. If you know that at the bar, there's going to be a bunch of drunk assholes that are going to offer you drinks, that maybe they start a fight with you. Maybe you're going to find the wrong type of partner there. Like, don't go to places that you know are going to put you in situations that are going to create hardships for you. Don't stay up till 2 a.m. That is a hardship that you are choosing for yourself instead of the right types of hardships, like waking up and doing a cold shower, or meticulously planning your week where you do your meal planning without fail and you actually eat it. And you log all your meals because you set reminders on your phone. And you go to the gym and you do your workout and you freaking destroy your body the right way, because we know that the body will get stronger and it will respond accordingly because of delayed gratification, which means that the work you're doing right now will give you results in the future. Do hard shit. Grow beyond your comfort zone. Step out of it. We all have heard the term where growth doesn't happen in your comfort zone, and it doesn't. It doesn't. Mold happens when you stay in your comfort zone. You decay, you rot, you don't progress. We have to step out of our comfort zone. We have to do hard shit. Because I promise you, the one time that you finally do something that you said you couldn't do, you can't say that I can't do it anymore. I can't tell you how many people tell me, well, I could never jump in the ice barrel. All you have to do is jump in the ice barrel once, and now that statement has lost all of its power. So don't tell yourself and don't tell me that you can't meal prep or you can't go to the gym or you can't do this exercise because last time you did it 10 years ago, it felt a little bit weird. Like, push yourself safely and step out of your comfort zone. And I promise you, not only will you surprise yourself, but you will actually realize the potential that you have that is untapped. Avoid overcommitting. We have to learn, like we talked about already, say no to non-essential activities and focus on what matters most. When you're stressed because you're too busy, you need to find what you can remove that isn't helping you. The same way that we study a map to understand where we are going based on where we have been, and we study the topography and we study the canals and the divots and the rivers and all that, we have to look at our calendar as if it's a map, because it is. So if you look at your map, which is your calendar now, and today is Monday, and you realize that your Tuesday is packed to the brim with a bunch of stuff that you don't have to do on Tuesday, because guess what? Maybe your Saturday is wide open. Like, whoa, no, I use my Saturday to decompress. Okay. Imagine how much better your week will be if you don't feel compressed on Tuesday. You don't have to use your Saturday to decompress at that point, because you spaced everything out accordingly. And now you can do something on Tuesday. You can look at your calendar on Wednesday and be like, you know what? I don't need to do this. This doesn't have to be done. This doesn't have to be done. I can delegate this to someone. I can ask for a favor for here. I can say no to this person that asked me to do this. Remove stuff from your calendar that is not helping you. You overextending yourself and needing to focus on other people is not what you have to realize is the thing that gives you value. We have to focus on what our immediate goal is. And this ties into being able to say no and burning the right bridges and how to accomplish what our actual goals are, maybe of losing 20 pounds or 30 pounds or learning how to meal prep or actually getting that protein intake in. It has to happen by you focusing on yourself and not overcommit to stuff. This is my favorite one that I want to talk about. Optimize your environment. This is something that I do daily, like daily. I did it right now with this room, right? Make your home and workspace calming and organized. Spend time on it. Remove any clutter and create a space that actually supports your well-being. Have water bottles right by your door if you want to drink more water. They cost, $7 for a freaking 24-pack? Have them right there. If you want to drink more protein and you have trouble making protein shakes, buy a 48-pack of Premier Protein and stack them in your fridge. Optimize your environment. If you want to make sure that you drink black coffee in the mornings and you always go to creamer and you're trying to avoid the creamer, throw away the freaking creamer. Don't have it in your house. Put the coffee machine somewhere visible. If you want to wake up and you actually want to do a skincare morning routine, put a Post-it note in your bathroom mirror that says, do your skincare morning routine, and have all your skincare morning stuff right there. If you want to make sure you wake up and go to the gym, go to bed in your gym clothes. Have your gym bag packed, ready to go, and your calendar should pop up and it should tell you training time. It should tell you what traffic looks like to get to the gym, and then you just hit go. If you want to pack your pre-workout the night before and have it right there ready for you to go in your gym bag, do that. Clean your kitchen so meal prep is easier for you. Put everything away that you need to put away and only have the stuff out that you actually want, and throw away the stuff that you don't use. Have your gym bag already packed so it's easier to go. Think of what you can do that will make taking the actions you want as easy as possible. Lower your action threshold. Don't have a bunch of crap in your car because guess what? You're not going to want to drive to places because it's going to overwhelm you. Take time to clean up your life. If you have trouble with meal prep, guess what? Maybe you need to order from a meal delivery service for a couple of months just to get into the routine of things. If you have trouble with getting your protein goals, maybe you need to order the Premier Protein so you make sure that you drink maybe 2 or 3 of them extra a day on top of your protein intake already. And that's another 90 grams of protein. If you stay up till 3 in the morning every single night, you need to optimize your environment by turning off all the lights by 8 p.m., having your charger, your phone across the room from you, not right next to your bed, making sure your room is nice and cool, maybe wearing a weighted blanket, throwing on some eye covers, and listening to binaural music. Optimize your environment. I promise you, you will fall asleep. That talk that you keep giving yourself of I'm a bad sleeper and I never sleep well, like it's all bullshit. It's just that you have bad sleeping habits. If you don't want to drink alcohol, guess what? Don't have alcohol in your house. Get rid of it. If you don't want to eat fast food, take the highway home, not the streets. I used to take the streets home because I used to stop at McDonald's twice on the way home when I was a fatty. And I changed everything because I optimized my environment. Everything in my environment, in my life, is primed for success. I have water bottles right by the door. I have my gym bag packed, ready to go from the night before. I have my morning drink, and I have my morning pills and vitamins already prepackaged for myself because I took time to do it one day during the week. On Saturdays, I'll prep all that stuff for the week. I'll do my laundry. I'll make sure I have shorts for my pool. Well, my ice barrel, excuse me. It felt like a pool today. I jumped in for a little bit. It felt really nice. In the evening. And I'll make sure that I have my gym bag ready to go. Optimize your environment so you can lower your action threshold. Take a moment. So right now, I want you, if you have your journal, pull out your journal. If you want to take notes on your phone, or if you want to just think about this, let's do it. But this is an exercise. I want you to think about where in your life can you reduce distractions? Are you listening to talk radio on the way into work? Are you constantly gossiping at the water cooler while you're at work instead of actually getting your work done and leaving work on time? Are you going out to lunch instead of eating your meal in the lunchroom because you think you're going to be lonely? Are you driving home and getting fast food and coming home and plopping yourself on the couch instead of actually just going to the gym and then eating your meal prep meal that you made when you get home? Are you throwing on TV or Netflix or whatever late at night and then staying up till 1 a.m. instead of actually going to bed on time? Are you avoiding the meal prep because you think that you don't have time and therefore you just eat whatever, or sometimes you don't even eat and you forget your meals? Where in life can you reduce distractions? What is draining you and keeping you from making progress? What is it? Think about this. The answer is likely you, right? But if it's not, if the answer is I overcommit to people, or I say yes too often at work, or I have a friend that shouldn't be in my life anymore, but I keep them around and they keep influencing me to drink with them or to smoke weed, which is not bad if that's what you want to do. But are we here to just do what we want to do, or are we here to do freaking amazing? Do you have people in your life that are actively trying to hold you back because they don't cheerlead you? They don't want you to win. If it is you, if you are the reason why you are draining yourself and keeping yourself from making progress, that's actually a good thing to realize. Why? Well, because it means that you can do something about it. Because if right now you told me, hey, coach, the reason why my life is how it is because of all these people in my life and they are keeping me from making progress. I'm going to tell you, okay, so you're telling me you have no control over your life and you can't make any changes. And we will figure out that that's not true. You can make changes. You can type up a better resume. You can apply for a better job. You can decide to go to bed early and wake up early and hit the gym. You can decide to schedule weekly haircuts and show up at work with better outfits because you save up money and you get a better wardrobe and you get promoted. You can decide to make sure that you meal prep on Sundays. You can decide to say no to family when they just want to gossip or just bring somebody else down in the family. You can decide to say no to someone that wants to go out. You can decide to say no to a date. You can decide to say no to a friend. And that's okay. What can you apply to help make difficult situations easier to navigate? Based off what we talked about today, what can we start applying in our lives right now to make difficult situations easier to navigate? I'm going to give you an example. A difficult situation to navigate might be going through a divorce and there's children in the midst and it's going to be chaotic. What can you apply to help make that difficult situation easier to navigate? I can make sure that all the time that I have for myself, I use it not just as wisely as possible, but as effectively as possible because I have limited time. I can make sure that when I do have time for myself and I don't have to have the kids or pick up the kids or I don't have to do something that is not something that falls in line with what I want to do just because of where I'm at in my life right now. When I have time for me, I use it as effectively as possible. I don't lollygag because that is me killing my time. And the time that I don't spend doing effective things in my life is time that I'm taking away from my kids. And you might be like, well, that doesn't make any sense. How so? Let's think about it. Because if I'm not effectively doing something, that means that I'm going to have to work on it later on. Maybe during the time when I have my kids. And now I'm not present. Why? Because I wasn't working effectively when I had the limited time. Another difficult situation could be at work. Do you wonder why you never get ahead? What can you do to make that difficult situation easier? Maybe you can learn to be a better employee. Maybe you can learn to navigate the politics of the office better. Maybe you can learn to be a little more charismatic, because that is important. Maybe you can learn that it's not about being the hardest worker in the room. It's about being the smartest worker in the room. And it's not about sucking up to people. It's about rubbing elbows with the right people and making the right connections and making the right friendships, because it does get you ahead. It's not being a suck up. It's showcasing your skills and your qualities to be seen.
And that brings us to the end of another episode of the VetRise Podcast. If today's episode inspired you, made you think, or simply gave you hope, I have a small favor to ask. Share it with just one veteran or someone you think could benefit from my message. Your share could light a spark for them. You don't know who you might save. For more insights and to join our mission, follow my socials at JP, the Veteran Coach, and explore how we can rise together. Thank you for joining us, for being part of this journey, and for believing in the power of rising together. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep rising, and never forget that we are stronger together. My name is Juan Perez, and thank you for your time.